All eyes will be on England when the London Olympic Games starts this Friday, and many are curious to know just how prepared the host country is for the world's biggest sporting event with less than 5 days remaining before kick-off. 4 years on from the Beijing Games, expectations are no doubt higher, especially after the impressive games delivered by China. With arguably the most spectacular opening ceremony the world has ever witnessed, still fresh in collective memories, London found itself in the unenviable position of staging the event right after Beijing. Acutely aware that it not compete with China, particularly in terms of staging an opening ceremony as spectacular as its Chinese counterpart, London made its intentions clear well in advance. It would be impressing the world with a well-planned organization of the tournament. So far, the London Olympic Games Organizing Committee and the British government have delivered with the construction of the stadiums and the athletes' village completed on schedule. Not for London any stories of last-minute scrambles to complete the construction work as happened at the recent Commonwealth Games in India. Everything seems to be in place for London to host the Olympics for the third time, which is more than any other city in the world. While no one can argue with London's preparations in regard to facilities or venues, the host city suffered an unexpected blow just before the start of the Games when it emerged that there was a shortfall in security personnel. It was hard to believe that such a problem could occur given London's meticulous planning for the Games. However, the British government has now had to draft in army and police to fill the gap in numbers after G4S failed to provide the promised staff. Despite this move, a question mark still hangs over the security for the Games. There is another problem that few are talking about, even the British media. From a trip to England a fortnight ago, it quickly became clear that public relations work was insufficient, with only relatively small numbers of the Games banners hanging around London. To make it worse, the banners themselves were not attractive enough to catch the eye, as you could drive along the roads in the city without noticing them. The problem was not confined only to London. In Manchester, people would not have known that the city was one of those hosting the soccer matches of the Games due to paucity of the PR efforts. To its credit, there was no sign of the repair work to the London roads witnessed last year, but neither there were any the decorations in the city to greet the first group of athletes arriving for the Games. Leaving such small issues aside, London is ready to show itself through the world. กิตตินันท์ สงวนศักดิ์ The Nation Special Reports